Octavio Paz said that his book, A Tree Within, had the form of a tree, that its roots were mental and its branches were syllabic. These are the first two lines of the poem that gives title to the book. A tree grew inside my head. A tree grew in. The tree has been a perfect metaphor for knowledge since at least biblical times. We speak of the branches of a discipline or the roots of a concept. Books themselves, the paradigmatic portrayers of knowledge, have leaves and are mostly made out of wood. If you stare at one real tree in particular, and you should do that because it reduces your blood pressure, you will have to admit that even if it is beautiful and makes you feel good, its symmetry is obviously imperfect. Remember this, because all of our knowledge, as powerful as it can be, will always be imperfect too. Imagine two trees of the same species, planted at the same time on the same soil, from the seeds of the same tree, growing just a few steps from one another. Even if you feed them and take care of them on the same way, these two trees will never grow to be identical. No two trees and no two persons are the same. We are all unique, and we can be divided for all sorts of purposes in all sorts of ways. Don't let anybody reduce you to a stereotype of any group. Fruits and flowers are also very common metaphors. Fruits for the successful results of work, and flowers for the ephemeral beauty. But consider the fig, which looks, tastes, and sells as a fruit, yet it is actually a cluster of flowers made by dozens or hundreds or even thousands of one-seed fruits that bloom modestly inward and look like only one. This is just what learning does. It blooms modestly inward. Nobody can see what you know, and nobody can know what you can do. Sometimes you can feel like a fig, as if there were many eyes inside you that look like only one to others. This is perfectly normal, or better yet, imperfectly normal. We are multiple from the start, as a famous anthropologist said. Or as a Walt Whitman put it, I am large, I contain multitudes. To cultivate any plant, you need attention, work, patience, etc. You will also need to deal with messiness, pests, all sorts of bugs, risks of disaster, miscalculations, uncertain weather, and so on. The same things are needed to grow our own skills and our own character. And yes, we can improve the techniques we use to cultivate our land or our talent, but there is no substitute for the commitment to growth and the courage to confront the uncertainty that it necessarily entails. Our life depends on the sunlight, as well as on all the somber action that happens underground. The very word human comes from the Latin humus, meaning soil. And so does the words humble and humility. We are all different plants emerging from the same common ground of our humanity. Life is leaky and life is great. It's leaky as a consequence of our need for water, and it's great because it is the fruit of growth. And if you want to fertilize yourself, the best you can use are unpleasant truths. Those are the manure that promotes growth. Let's finish with A Tree Within, the poem by Octavio Paz.
A tree grew inside my head. A tree grew in. Its roots are veins, its branches nerves, thoughts its tangled foliage. Your glance sets it on fire, and its fruits of shade are blood oranges and pomegranates of flame. Day breaks in the body's night. There, within, inside my head, the tree speaks. Come closer. Can you hear it?
Can you?